April 13th, 1945, World War II nears its end. Yet in Zwolle, a Dutch town still under German control, you wouldn't know it. SS officers and soldiers patrol the streets and house communications, directing vital supplies across the Netherlands. A lone Allied Canadian soldier, Private Leo Major, plans to change that. In fact, he plans to liberate the town in a single night, all by himself. He promised his fallen friend, Wilfred Arsenault, that he would make an impact in the war. This is his opportunity. On this night, Major will attempt to orchestrate an evening of assaults and strategic maneuvers against the German occupiers to liberate the town. He intends to capture German soldiers, sabotage communication lines, and spread misleading intel about an impending large-scale Allied advance. Each action meant to build confusion and fear among the German troops. Leo Major was only meant to be part of a scouting unit doing recon on Zwolle and meeting with the resistance leaders there for intel. That all changed when German SS officers spotted the scouts and opened fire. Leo's partner is killed, but he manages to take out 2 of the officers before the rest can escape in their vehicle. As night falls, he enters the town under the cover of darkness. He spots a German machine gun nest, but to his relief, the soldiers inside are asleep. The private clears it out and eliminates the threat silently. Moving towards the center of Zwolle, Major identifies the SS headquarters building. This is his chance to destabilize the entire occupation. He moves closer and ducks down in an alley, looking down into his sack and eyes the payload of incendiary grenades. Knowing once he pulls the pin, his cover is blown, and there will be no going back. Leo Major was born on January 23, 1921, in New Bedford, Massachusetts, where his French-Canadian parents had briefly moved in search of better economic opportunities. However, the family soon returned to Canada, settling in Montreal, Quebec. Leo grew up during the Great Depression, shaping him into a resilient and resourceful individual from a young age. In his schooling years, Leo was known for his strong personality and leadership qualities. As World War II erupted and news of the conflict reached the streets of Montreal, a sense of duty and the prospect of adventure prompted Major to enlist in the Canadian Army in 1940, just as he turned 19. His bold decision to join the military was driven not only by a desire to defend democratic values, but also to prove himself. Upon enlisting, Major was assigned to the Régiment de la Chaudière, a renowned French-Canadian unit celebrated for its strong camaraderie and rugged toughness. In this supportive yet demanding military environment, Major quickly distinguished himself as a capable and intelligent soldier who used strategy more than strength to defeat the enemy. As World War II intensified, Major's regiment was deployed to Europe, landing on the beaches of Normandy shortly after D-Day. It was during these early days of combat that Major demonstrated his exceptional skill and tenacity. In one incident, while Major was on recon, he spotted a German half-track. The armored vehicle was well guarded, and he could easily have reported back to get reinforcements. Instead, he stealthily approached the vehicle after nightfall and caught the Germans off guard. Once inside, he listened to the communications to gain strategic intel. Major then drove the captured half-track back to his unit's lines. Leo Major formed a strong friendship with fellow Régiment de la Chaudière soldier Wilfred Arsenault. The two had fought side by side in multiple skirmishes, and they each trusted the other on the battlefield. After Normandy, Major's unit pushed further into Europe, participating in the grueling Battle of the Scheldt in Belgium and the Netherlands. During this campaign, Major was severely injured by a phosphorus grenade, which resulted in the loss of vision in one eye. In February 1945, while in Keppeln, Germany, Leo Major was involved in a tragic incident. He was helping a military chaplain transfer bodies from a destroyed Tiger II tank into a universal carrier. When done, Major climbed into the back of the vehicle, while the chaplain and driver sat in the front. As they moved away, the carrier triggered a landmine. The explosion killed the chaplain and driver instantly and violently threw Major into the air, causing him to lose consciousness. When he finally came to, surrounded by medical officers checking his injuries, Major's first question was if the chaplain was okay. His back was severely injured in the incident, but he chose to fight on. Just months later, as the Allied forces prepared for the final push into Germany, Major's unit was redeployed to the Netherlands. Here, they were tasked with clearing remaining enemy forces from the Dutch towns and countryside, a mission crucial for securing the northern flank of the Allied advance. It was during this time, in the spring of 1945, that the opportunity for Major's most daring act of bravery presented itself. As the war in Europe was drawing to its conclusion, the Régiment de la Chaudière approached the still-occupied Dutch city of Zwolle. Understanding the city's strategic and symbolic importance, the regiment's commanding officer called for volunteers for a crucial reconnaissance mission. The objectives were clear: scout the German forces, establish contact with the Dutch resistance, and relay vital information back to the Allied forces to prepare for a possible artillery assault. Private Leo Major and Corporal Wilfred Arsenault, driven by a shared commitment to minimize civilian casualties and potential destruction of the historic city, stepped forward. The duo, known within their unit for their bravery and skill, embarked on their mission, aiming to navigate through enemy lines undetected. Their first stop was the farmhouse of Hendrik van Gerner, a local who was sympathetic to the Allied cause. Van Gerner provided them with crucial intelligence about German positioning and layout within the city. Major and Arsenault left the farmhouse, ready to advance their mission. Tragically, shortly after leaving the farmhouse, they approached a roadblock and they were compromised. The Germans opened fire, killing Arsenault in the attack, while Major was able to kill 2 of the Germans in immediate retaliation. The remaining Germans fled in a vehicle. Even after the loss of his close friend, Corporal Wilfred Arsenault, Leo Major continued his mission alone in Zwolle with a fierce resolve. He patrolled the city for 6 more hours, creating a network with the local Dutch resistance and organizing civilian patrols at strategic points to simulate a larger presence. His plan was to make the Germans feel as if they were under attack by a large army and retreat from the city, saving it from bombardment with destruction and civilian casualties. Carrying 2 Sten guns and a sack of grenades, encountering a German machine gun nest unexpectedly, he found the crew asleep and quickly neutralized the threat without hesitation. He ventured deeper into the city center. Major located the local SS headquarters. He set it ablaze with incendiary grenades and submachine gun fire. With the office smoldering, his next encounter involved commandeering a German scout car. Major forced a teenage German soldier to drive the vehicle through the streets. He found a local tavern still open and with the captured soldier as his hostage, made his way inside. Major there found a tipsy SS officer at the bar and taunted him, telling him about the Canadian Army marching towards Zwolle before letting him to inform his comrades. Throughout the night, Major engaged in hit-and-run tactics, attacking targets of opportunity and setting off grenades that caused more noise than damage, but adding to the illusion of a large-scale assault. By chance, he encountered Fritz Kuipers, the leader of the local resistance, and together with a few of his men, they amplified the effects of Major's efforts. On his way back, though wet and tired, he picked up the body of his corporal and brought it in. With the help of the resistance, a vehicle was arranged to transport Arsenault's body back to the Canadian lines. Yet this journey, too, was fraught with danger as they were mistakenly fired upon by their own forces. Major climbed atop the vehicle, making himself visible to prevent further friendly fire. Upon his return, Leo Major reported the successful liberation of Zwolle to his commanding officers, calling off their planned artillery attack on the town, saving the city from further destruction.